today.
I was happy to do so. Good morning, Madam Chairman and members of the committee, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Claudia McClain. I have owned McClain Insurance Services, which is an independent insurance agency in South Everett, specializing in insurance for families for the past 31 years. And I'm here today to discuss catastrophic exposures that are excluded from a standard homeowner's insurance policy. I believe that you've all received a copy of our graphic outline here. Since I'm an insurance advisor and really not a public speaker, I thought that with your permission, I would simply approach this conversation as if you were in my office and we were talking one-on-one about the coverages and the exclusions that are applicable to your own insurance policy. I'll do my best to keep my side of the conversation brief so that you'll have plenty of time to ask questions if you have any. As you can see from the outline provided, a standard homeowner's policy is very robust in its protection, and it pays for a variety of a variety of sudden and accidental losses to your home. Things such as fire and lightning, windstorm and hail, riot and civil commotion, vandalism and theft, weight of ice and snow, and yes, even a falling aircraft or a runaway vehicle. Examples of covered losses are highlighted in green on the left. Many, but not all, of the typical losses faced by the typical homeowner are covered by these standard homeowners insurance policies. Catastrophic losses have been historically excluded from coverage on the homeowner policy. These losses include earthquake, flood, and some, but not all, of the potential damage from volcanic eruption. To more fully protect against these major losses, consumers can purchase additional coverage, generally through separate standalone policies. Earthquake coverage is available either on a standalone basis or by endorsement to the homeowner's policy, although the endorsement option has become less available in our state in recent years. As you can see from the chart, some types of earth movement, such as landslides and mudslides, are not easily insured in the admitted markets, and clients with these exposures generally need the help of a broker to obtain a Lloyd's of London contract. Flood insurance is available through the federal National Flood Insurance Program, and will cover a variety of different types of water damage, including accumulation of surface waters due to snowmelt or rain, as long as there are at least two contiguous properties are affected by the same body of water, overflows of rivers or lakes, mud flow or lahar, and tsunamis. I've included some additional information in the Senator's packets regarding the standalone policy solutions that are available now for earthquake and for flood. And finally, I was told as a young agent that I should listen twice as much as I should speak. So with that, I wanted to just open this to questions that you may have, and I'll do my best to answer, and I certainly appreciate the committee's interest in this issue.
Thank you very much. Questions? I think when we thought about putting this presentation together, we found that there were so many homeowners that during the last flood thought they had coverage through their homeowner's policy, and most of us just renew it and don't really understand what's in it. And so that's why I thought this would be helpful to the committee. But now, like with the ice that we're experiencing in the Midwest and the power lines and the trees crashing through the roofs of homes, will that be covered then under this? I just saw it here, where to go, weight of ice,
yes,
snow or sleet. So they would be covered,
yes,
on our homeowner's policy.
Yes. The weight of ice and snow and sleet are generally covered. Pretty much any type of tree falling, whether it's through windstorm or through the weight of ice, if it damages property, is covered by the homeowner's policy. So the amazing thing about the homeowner policy is that it's extremely broad in the losses that it does cover. The losses that you can pretty much expect it to not cover would be the catastrophic losses that you see here, and things that I would normally explain as wear and tear issues, normal maintenance and wear and tear type issues.
Volcanic action. So when Mount St. Helens erupted and we had ash everywhere,
The initial damage caused by the ash was covered, or
The
is covered.
initial.
There is a specific endorsement in Washington for volcanic action. And on my chart, that's why we had to kind of break it into two parts, because the lava flow itself,
Okay.
the shock waves, the air shock waves of the volcano, and the initial ash covering is a covered peril on the homeowner policy by special endorsement in Washington. What's not covered by the homeowner policy is mud flow. So the lahar action, that is an action that is liquid flow causing flooding, that would not be covered, and a person that would be at risk of that would want to look to a flood insurance policy. Which, by the way, I did some research that I found very interesting. Over the period of a 30-year mortgage, the typical homeowner has a 10.5% chance of experiencing a fire loss, but a 26% chance of experiencing a flood loss, a water damage loss. So there's a lot more exposure for flood than a lot of people think. People who are in preferred areas, they tend to think that they're not going to have that type of a loss, but the standing water and some of the sudden and accidental occurrences can definitely be picked up by a flood policy. And for the average homeowner, the flood policy costs about $400 a year. Clearly, if you're in an area where you're at flood risk, it will be more than that.
Do many people have insurance through Lloyd's of London?
No.
Is that Betty Grable?
It's difficult to get and not as comprehensive as those policies offered by our admitted insurers here in the state.
Okay.
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir. Senator McDermott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So listed under catastrophic exclusions would be earth movement, landslide. Would that include saturated land on a hillside or bluff?
Yes.
So my district, having a lot of water line, includes the Admiral District with some history of mudslides, and Maplewild in Berrien had a significant issue 6 years ago. That is...
It's excluded from a homeowner policy and very difficult to place. It's not earthquake.
Right.
Because it's not this sudden quake, and yet it is excluded. So the only time that you would have that sliding motion covered is if it is actually a mud flow, and that's why I included the definition that comes from the National Flood Site, because I've got to tell you, I would not want to be the attorney trying to discern between mud flow and mudslide, but the examples that you were suggesting, Senator, most likely would be excluded unless a person had purchased a Lloyd's of London policy.
I bet it would be lucrative. You might want to think about being that attorney.
You're probably correct. Thank you
All
for
right.
the advice.
When we use the term special endorsement, do you have to pay for that separately?
Yes, you do.
It is in addition to your, okay, thank you. Are there any other questions of Claudia? Hearing none, I really want to appreciate, I think this has been most informative, and we appreciate your driving down today.
Well, thank you for
Claudia.
the invitation.